Good night, everyone. Let me know if you're seeing me clearly. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. If you're seeing and hearing me clearly, welcome to another episode of Extra Class, episode number 339. I trust that everyone who is tuned in, you, your family, friends, colleagues, are healthy in these still unprecedented times. Um, Yeah, we're there. Big up to the ones them in the building. You know what I mean? It's another Friday night. You see me I say, I give thanks because you know what thing go. Life are the greatest. Peace. Big up on yourself. So we have some things where you want what I read about. Well, more like share some information. Not necessarily what I read about because people very sensitive these days, you know. You understand? I mean, I really want to hurt nobody feelings so early in a year. So, may I wait till about February before we start hurt some feelings. You understand? So, that's how I think there, you know. But we're there. We're there. Big up to the people who were there early. Dwight, Ken, BM Percy, Zine, Iman, James Van, Garfield, who else the about? Alberto, DeAndre, Dwight, Andrew, big up on yourself, you know. DS, big up yourself, broski. You understand? Dre and all of the people in the building. Big up on yourself. Empress Nikki, what's going on, man? You see me? Yeah, man. And Johnny, where are you? Just start it. Nah, man, we don't hurt nobody feelings yet, but it's a good January. You understand? But yesterday, for the first time since the onset of the COVID-19 virus being discovered in Jamaica. That was from March 2019. Yesterday, Thursday, January 6th, was the first time that the country, in any 24 hours period, has recorded more than, well, 1,000 positive cases. And so yesterday was record breaking. Today was even greater in terms of positive cases, as yesterday's number was surpassed. And I saw an article, I'm going to read it here, but I'm going to read it soon, where the CMO, the Chief Medical Officer, is saying that the peak of the fourth wave should be occurring in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And if we're experiencing 1,200 positive cases and we're not near the peak yet, then you know the maths go. You understand? You see what go on. So let's go. Big up to the people, them. John, big up yourself, youth. What go on? 1,269 new COVID-19 cases. Unfortunately, 3 more Jamaicans have died. So Jamaica on Thursday recorded 1,269 new cases of COVID-19, pushing the tally to 99,463. Let's compare that to yesterday's figures just for a moment. I think I have it somewhere here. Bring it up over here. So. Alright, boom. Close what this here, so. Computer up, slow like a peak or traffic. Alright. Yes, so yesterday there were, well, for Wednesday there were 1,128 cases, and for Thursday, which was yesterday, it was 1,269. So it's about 141 more positive cases for Thursday than for Wednesday, and it is the first time the country has recorded over 1,000 cases, and it's back to back. And by the looks and sounds of things, it's gonna get rougher yet. Hear me? As the great Jimmy Riley once said. I come like me, I have buffering issues. Let me know if me I come through clean and clear. I'm buffering on my side. So how am I forwarding through per your side I dance? Hopefully everything I forward crystal clear. You see it? Alright. Refresh it and see what I go on over there. So of the new infections, 739 are women and 530 are men, with ages ranging from 15 days to 97 years old. Yeah? Rough. hold on, before I go any further, everything good, me a buffer, me don't know. Me don't know how I go on another part. Andrew say clean and clear. Oh, so my all woman computer walk with stick. Everything good, everything good, everything good. Happy New Year, and Father Adrian. Big up yourself, bro. Appreciate the continued support. You understand? Wish for the man and the family, you know what I mean, a productive, prosperous, healthy, and wealthy 2022. You know the maths. You understand? Kobe best man. Wanna go on farm? Long time I don't see the man. Everything good over London. I don't want to London at this still, but you know you have to rhyme sometime. Alright, I don't know what I'm going to say. But we could go on talk. A total of 3,864 tests were conducted, and the country's positivity rate now stands at 45.9%. And I mean, common sense would tell you that the more tests that are conducted, the more positive cases will be uncovered, discovered, because half of Jamaica complains them have bad flu. You know what I think, it's rough. Jaja. So the positivity rate is inching towards 50%. We are now at 45.9%, as I said, moving from a low of about 5 or below 5 in October, early November, thereabout. So, you know, what is the mid side or another part. Yeah. So, the COVID by parishes and the breakdown, as I explained on Wednesday night when I streamed, that naturally areas that are more populated would stand the greatest chance of having the greatest number of infections. I mean, that's just common sense, yeah? So Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 586 cases. That is the epicenter presently. St. James, 181. That's the second city in the country. So yeah, the urban area. St. Anne, 157. St. Catherine is trending downward. They were second for a while they recorded 84 cases. Manchester 51, St. Mary 39, Hanover 39, Westmoreland 32, Trelawney 30, Clarendon 25, St. Thomas 23, St. Elizabeth 22, and God is a good God, Portland 0. Why? Portland, we give thanks only, you know, Portland with the Portland. You understand? Them normally stay strong despite what go on in the land. Silver, what go on fam? So that is the breakdown by parish. The more developed urban centers are showing more positive cases, naturally. Meanwhile, 3 more deaths have been recorded, increasing the total to 2,489. The deceased are a 90-year-old man from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 77-year-old woman from St. Elizabeth, and a 51-year-old woman from Kingston and St. Andrew. So the Ministry of Health says the deaths occurred between December 19 and January 4. And 1 more fatality has been recorded as a coincidental death, moving the figure of coincidental deaths to 196. Some 219 people are in hospital, with 42 being moderately ill, 22 severely ill, and 4 critically ill. 1 person is in government quarantine, while 24,346 are at home. Speaking about home, Empress Rosie B, big up yourself, you know. Look like you're swinging on a maple leaf tree. Big up yourself. Yeah. I also cited an article. We never read it in a cat. There are so many articles. When I wake up in the morning and I try to read the papers, you see? And in the middle of the day when I try to read the papers again, and then in the evening when I try to read the papers again, when I read paper, I mean I read all of the papers. Eh? So, the Gleaner, Observer, Loop, you have RGR Online. When we say paper, I mean online. Yeah? Nationwide, Star, RFM, GIS, all sorts of things. So can we try to, you know what I mean, get as much sources as possible when we're trying to get a feel for some things. So sometimes the article them get a lot. You understand? So it's not just we hear a thing and we come talk. We sit down and we read and internalize. Most of the time, sometimes we just drop some article, you know what I mean, blindly, like me never read it before and them something there. You understand? I heard that there's a lot more waves out there. Well, we could just go and ride the one that we can see, brother. You understand? Because when the next wave come, we deal with it. You see me? You can't ride what you not see. So we just go and ride the fourth one here. Christopher Daly, Happy New Year, bro. Hope all is well in blessings wherever you are in the world. You know, he's a traveler. Yeah, he's a traveling man. And thing. So, oh yes, back to the article. May I get old thing and I not remember all things. I glimpsed the article and it says that, there was a time early in the outbreak that whilst children were infected, the greatest impact was felt among the elderly and people with comorbidities. Studies are now showing that children are becoming sicker, as I suppose. They are not as resilient as they were in the early stages of the outbreak, and they are now becoming far more vulnerable to the effects of the virus. So that is something that we need to take into context. As a matter of fact, speaking about children, my daughter, thankfully, she's now better. She contracted the virus and she was, was out of it for a little bit. She was more worried about, what she saw in the news and hear people talking about in terms of mortality than anything else. But we give thanks. She is okay, and strangely enough, she was the only one in the household that actually caught the virus. Oh, and I mean, she lives in the United States. She don't live with me, so they must say, "Well, teacher, sure enough, she's not there." You understand? She was supposed to be here for Christmas, but Bob his sled never slide, so that go on. So you know what I mean. A child under 5 years old just died out here so, in Orange County, Georgia. Rough. So we have to be extra careful, and added to that, seeing that the push for face-to-face interactions within the education system is in full motion, and the reports are suggesting that children are becoming more vulnerable. I mean, it is one-on-one where you know want add up forget two. It's on a way, but we just have to go and hope and pray and try to do the right thing, and it's rough. Yes, and Top Max, big up yourself in the family. Teach, I'm in the same situation right now. Somebody in the household infected, bro. Let's be careful. Yeah, man. And yeah. So, speaking about the COVID, and remember, I just say a little thing called peak of current COVID-19 wave expected in 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3. A 1 whole month, not enough. Well, almost, but yeah, son. And the Ministry of Health is expecting Jamaica to reach a peak of the current COVID-19 wave in the next 3 weeks, with as many as 11,500 cases likely to be reported at the height of the surge. With as many as 11,500 cases likely to be reported at the height of the surge. Remember, we have been alarmed for the past 48 hours with 1,100 and odd cases and 1,200 and odd cases, And the prediction is that not so long from now, we may be seeing daily numbers of 10,000 plus. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisesa Mackenzie says Jamaica's reproductive rate now stands at 2.4. So in the 14-day period up to Thursday, a total of 4,863 new cases were reported. Maybe me interpret that wrong just now. It could be by the time that done, between that time we have 11,000 odd cases and not 11,000 odd cases any given day. I hope me interpret it right. Now, according to Dr. Mackenzie, this is expected to increase rapidly and could reach more than 11,000 cases at peak. Right. Somebody interpreted it wrong. Thankfully, based on projections using the reproductive rate and current numbers. Now, rapid exposure is happening to a lot of persons and numbers are going up quickly, she warned. The chief medical officer said deaths could also spike quickly. I mean, that goes without saying. As the number of confirmed cases increase, the number of deaths can also increase to the region of 2 to 300 in that peak week. So the chief medical officer is suggesting that within the peak week, which she's predicting to be about 3 weeks from now, there could be 2 to 300 deaths in that peak week. Jaja. Hospitalizations are projected to increase with up to 2,500 people on beds in the peak week. With the current COVID-19 wave affecting 55.9% of communities, Dr. Bisesa Mackenzie said hospital bed occupancy levels are rising. Several hospitals now have to be considering changing the service delivery for curtailing some activities to be able to manage COVID beds. And the CMO said Jamaica is now seeing the highest number of children. There we go. The CMO said Jamaica is now seeing the highest number of children in hospital since the start of the pandemic. However, she noted that the proportion of children getting ill relative to the rest of the population remains the same. I mean, that is bad and slightly good. You understand? But as I said, there's a study out there that says children are now more vulnerable. As to why, I don't know. I actually didn't read that article. I probably need to go and search for it and read it. So when me talk, me can talk from a more informed position. But as I said, the article them so many sometimes you just have to pick and choose where you read. So Isa look shaky. Why? Like we in for a crucifixion. Nah, man. Yeah, we know these are projections and predictions based on, and there's a sense to it, Jay. You understand? I don't think the CMO will just get up and suppose they'll be using the data that exists. They'll be using past trends and things. So we hope that in a region we're near the same, bro. You understand? But we just have to talk it like it is. You see? That is what the technocrats and the experts are saying. You understand me? I am just relaying the information so I can change it. You understand? For suit the narrative, I am just sharing. You know, Jack Mandora, I'm not choose none, so I get it, so I tell you, we not choose a side. Yeah, man, something like that. So, that I go on. So, hopefully, the projections are not realized and the effects is far less, the effects are far less than projected, predicted, and them something there. So yeah. But then, brother, then I just part I think that because you are going, then it better the information is out there and people become fearful than we hide the information and suppress the truth. I am for that. Give me the information, then me decide how me I go ingest and interpret it than hiding things from me. That is how I look at things still. So if at this stage in 2022, having been going through this from 2019, this information strikes fear, then I don't know because as a matter of fact, Jay, initial predictions from the chief epidemiologist within the Ministry of Health says that there were supposed to be at least 15,000 deaths throughout the pandemic in Jamaica, with at least 1.7 million people becoming infected. So from the beginning, them did say that. So I don't know that these figures would drive fear now, compared to those early predictions, projections. And we have gone nowhere close to that. Thanks be to God. You understand? Yeah, but then the chief medical officer talking about, it's not like he's a man on the street still. You understand? So, I don't know. You see? is a form of control. So who are trying to control one our family? You understand? If because I suppose if the information is guarded and suppressed, we are gonna say, people are hide things and people are try to control the narrative, and then the information is being given, we say we are trying to incite fear and panic. We are trying to control, like, I may not get it still. I may really not get it. We have to choose one of the evil and work with it, yes, sir. I prefer to have the information so I can prepare myself or organize myself. You understand? But I just saw it thing go. Like, no matter what is done, there will be people who are, okay, and people who are not, I suppose. It's just the nature of the thing. Like the cockpit country situation, it is such a divisive thing. Like, you're going to have some people saying X and some people saying Y, and then some people saying X and Y. And some people don't really have a mind for themselves. And it's like these days, you only want somebody where people know say something like the biggest thing in the street recently. Oh, Joshy said. What about what you said? Joshy not say nothing new. What Joshy said? Joshy has said what people been a say for years now. But because Joshy is probably known out there now as an artist, our Joshy say, what you say? Our that man say, what is it that you are saying? Stop making people think for no, man. What you say? Very annoying. Christ. Tell us I'm gonna hurt some feelings come February. I'm not hurt no feelings January. January is the start of the year. You have to start on a good foundation like footing. I'm gonna hurt some feelings that year. Yeah. No, very annoying. But I go continue. That is the next story for your next time. Empress Curry. What go on? Them boy Rosemary. Omar got you off on youth. Right, so that's at the peak of the COVID story. They must say about 3 weeks' time, it did not look promising. But make we hope for the best. You understand? We have heard projections before that have not materialized, thankfully. And then something there. But that me I say, Kerry, like, me I say, then everything. Oh, yeah, man. Remember saying did say that. That's why I said that. That's why I say, so, like, what was said that was due. Crime will never stop. Then that people have said that from the devil was a boy. Now the devil a big man a do some things you want one part, you want one place, and still a go. You don't know none of that thing. Speak for yourself, man. Have a mind of your own, man. Formulate your own thoughts and opinion and stop. Make people think for you. No. You know, the vaccine situation has been a next divisive issue. A very contentious issue. A very polarizing issue. Why? There are suggestions and indications and speculations and assertions and all sort of things. You see it? Genius, so I go on out that there was an attempt at sabotage at a facility that houses and stores vaccines recently, where some 900,000 doses of vaccine from Johnson & Johnson to AstraZeneca to a send off funny name or a send off primary. Well, I send off something, I soon telling me, I'll look on it again. Were exposed because somebody allegedly cut some wire to a storage refrigeration unit deliberately, apparently. So people have been sent on suspension and investigations are ongoing. Teacher, me look extra light skin tonight. No, I light, man, I light. You know, it light and bright. It's not really white, it's just a light. Yeah, but you don't know. I must have my complexion kind of strange, you know. I don't know where me get this a complexion from, but I just walk with it. So I see it there. See the real complexion now. I want to really go show my legs still, that's not safe, but my hand back, don't look on the part. So see it there, something like that is still. You know. one mix of some things. But you know you make yourself like you just work with yourself. Mm. Strange complexion. Mm. Right, but we is black. Yeah, man. 3 cent on leave in suspected vaccine sabotage. Yeah. So 3 senior person in charge of a National Health Fund warehouse cold room that is suspected to have been sabotaged have been sent on leave while the police conduct a probe into the incident that affected more than 900,000 COVID vaccine doses. Yeah, son. Check your finger now, man. The finger them alright, man. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. See that? The finger them good, man. We don't play that something, man. Everything balance, man. Is you understand? Some kind of do them part of some way, but everything in place. Mm. Yeah. Contacted on Thursday, NHF Deputy Chairman Shane Dalling, and this is the same Shane Dalling of FLA fame, disclosed that the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, has since given clearance for most of the inventory. So they're saying that the Pan American Health Organization has inspected the storage facility and checked the vaccines that were stored there, and they have given a passing grade despite the fact that they were exposed for a period of time that was not conducive for their long-term survival. Yes, so I could continue. However, he said the NHF is awaiting further word from PAHO on the efficacy of more than 30,000 doses of Sinopharm. That one there, where nobody not take. Me say nobody not take it. Not just in Jamaica, but around the world like, and over 360,000 doses of AstraZeneca. I want to me and TH tonight. TH. Dalling said that all of the vaccines are insured. Oh, the vaccine are insured. Care like. Okay, I didn't know say vaccine are insured, man. I never know say vaccine are insured. So that means that the animal protein in the vaccine never breathe. Animal protein in the SR ink. What you not say? Right now, the vaccine I want to better enough care about it, because enough care and insure about it. But that's the next story for next time. The NHF, in a statement issued Thursday, said its management board wrote to the Jamaica Constabulary Force on January 3, requesting an investigation into the circumstances leading to the breakdown in the operation of one of its cold rooms at the NHF pharmaceutical warehouse in Kingston. The incident, which occurred on December 24th, Boxing Day, and a Boxing Day that Grand Market like, who went shopping last year and affected thousands of doses, has resulted in the suspension of the NHF's distribution of vaccines that were stored in the affected cold room. I mean, them should have, since as they insure, just throw them out and replace them. Then they insure, then what we need for you use them for. If them did expose, you dash them a man. If them insure, then you not just insure, say, you use your insurance. So that is what I would have recommended if I was amongst the technocrats and the big wigs and the big heads and necks. I mean, if they were exposed and their concerns, seeing that they're insured, then you throw them out and get them replaced. They're insured. That is why you pay insurance for. So, I don't know why them are hold on them. Like, but remember my head just big, but I'm not one of the bigger heads. You see, so that's a thing. Let me continue. Yes, a wire was found cut that leads to the cooling facility, and the cooling facility was serviced 24 hours before. And although there were alerts that the system had gone down, the person or persons who got the alert did nothing. Then that's not safe. In the meantime, That is like the police ain't get one car, so someone shooting and go on and then say, yo, make gun back, you know, they come around, they say, you know. That's not safe. In the meantime, the NHF said the Ministry of Health and Wellness was briefed on the incident and is being provided with updated reports. The NHF board has also requested the professional services of auditing firm PricewaterhouseCoopers to conduct an independent investigation into whether management followed standard operating procedures for temperature monitoring of the cold rooms at the warehouse upon being alerted to the temperature irregularity. Since the incident, the NHF said it has rectified the problem and the cold room is fully operational. Additional measures have also been instituted to minimize chances of recurrence, and to reduce the risks associated with the warehousing of pharmaceuticals requiring cold storage. Jaja. Man, then cut the cord. Yeah. Oh no, Rasta. Man, they say place too cold. August, big up yourself enough, fam. Happy January, Mr. August. You know what things say? Yeah. Grace Kennedy implements vaccine mandate. Another contentious. Right, everything's surrounding COVID contentious, yes, sir. Yes, and polarizing and some other things. Remember that one time with the stream and said, you know, some CariMed employees took the company to court because of mandatory vaccination order, and the court ruled that CariMed as an entity has responsibility to all its employees, and they were not found to be infringing on the constitutional rights of anybody. So that matter was thrown out. And remember, earlier in the whole vaccine mandate debate, I shared an article from the president, and that was an interview that was done with the president of the Bar Association of Jamaica, where he's saying that there is no legal footing or legal ground for companies to not institute a vaccine mandate. There's nothing in the law that says they can't do it. So we saw where employees at Digicel also brought them to court. I'm not entirely sure where that one is presently. We saw places like CVM and mothers having, you know, some resistance with that because people are saying no, 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 no. NCB as well. I think NCB rolled back their demands, and a number of other companies have also instituted or tried to implement mandatory vaccination, or if you are not willing to become vaccinated, you have to provide a PCR test at your own expense on a regular basis, and then that is another problem. So this thing ain't going anywhere. We will continue to hear of these cases and these court cases and these challenges and counter challenges for some time, I suppose. The Digicel employee lost the case and was ordered to pay the Digicel legal bill. Yeah, I must have missed that. Give thanks, fam. I don't remember seeing that one. So, and the Grace Kennedy Group has announced that it will implement a COVID-19 vaccination policy for employees and the contractors this year. GK joins at least 2 other major companies to implement a vaccine mandate. Under the policy, as of January 14, Grace Kennedy, our GK team members will be required to disclose their COVID-19 vaccination status to the company. The COVID-19 vaccination requirements will then take effect on February 11, when all GK employees, contractors, and consultants will be required to be either fully or partially vaccinated against COVID-19. Then on April 29, 2022, all GK employees, contractors, and consultants will be required to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 or be subject to COVID-19 PCR testing every 2 weeks. If team members, contractors, or consultants opt not to be fully vaccinated by April 29 and choose to take a PCR test instead, the cost of the test will be borne by them. GK Group CEO Don Webby said the timing of the policy has been carefully considered based on the availability of vaccines in the markets where GK operates and the time required between the first and second dose of some types of vaccines. Webby said despite the company's best efforts to sensitize staff via awareness sessions and vaccine blitz, vaccination rates across the group vary considerably by location, and in some places they remain too low. This is particularly worrying as the highly contagious Omicron variant of the virus spreads around the world. I consider the GK team as part of my extended family, and their safety is of paramount importance to me. So, in keeping with GK's commitment and my personal commitment to provide a safe working environment, I don't know why I'm reading all of this, but that's the situation. Yeah. So let's watch and see. I am almost certain that there will be some pushback against Webby's attempt at the vaccine mandate within the GK group. And I am watching this with vested interest because I have a lot of interest in relation to the GK group as it relates to the stock market. So if they perform well, then you know you think kind of look nice. So we are going to watch and see what I go on. But I suspect there will be fallout and there will be resistance. I don't know of any company, major company around Jamaica or the world for that matter, where a vaccine mandate has been proposed, implemented, and there was no pushback. It is just not going to happen. There's no staff cohort or complement where everybody will be okay with getting vaccinated. It's just the nature of the thing. Good night, Empress Winsome. How are you? So we'll watch and see. Yes, Rasta Judge. Now, there is another developing situation with this COVID thing. I'm tired. So now COVID, I talk about the whole night and the stream done. I'm bad. Most people, when they get tests these days, if the choice is theirs, they will do an antigen test versus a PCR. And the PCR test expensive. You understand? You don't cheap about that. And the price varies from place to place and location to location and them something. So yeah. However, research and data is pointing towards false negatives from antigen tests. So I have heard of instances where people have done antigen tests and the result was negative, and they did PCR tests same day or day after, and PCR tests come back positive. So there is a worrying trend, I suppose, where antigen tests may not be as efficient as one would think or want. Whilst they are more affordable, they may create situations where those around us are exposed to the virus because we get a negative result from the antigen test. Antigen false negative alarm as COVID self-tests rolls in. Oh, that is the next part I think too. There are concerns in the medical field about the accuracy of COVID-19 tests being conducted by private facilities, as well as suggestions that false negatives are being arrived at because of poor technique. The issue came to force on Wednesday via social media, but the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, has indicated that this is not as grave as is being put forward. One medical doctor has claimed that the issue is causing chaos, referencing the practice of merely tickling the nostril, especially when administering an antigen test, as a recipe for disaster. Antigen tests are predominantly being administered by private facilities locally. You know, it's a hustle, you know anything. The accuracy of antigen tests in general is varied and is less precise than the polymerase chain reaction model, which is regarded as the gold standard. Some studies indicate that the accuracy of antigen tests could be as low as 60% when self-administered. Anxiety about precision may heighten as Jamaica prepares to roll out as many as 150,000 home self-test kits across the country. There will always be margins of error in the test kits as well as the administration, Tufton said when the issue was put to him on Wednesday. We need to keep this to a minimum, and that is based on proper training and monitoring. And go on and go on and go on. One whole heap of talking. Me can't bother with the whole I talking all the time. Yeah, man. Prime Minister laments crime situation in emotional addressed. It's not addressing, addressed. Emotional address. An emotional Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, has stated that he goes to bed every night. Every night in my dream, I see you. I feel you. That is how I know we'll go on. That's how the song go. I know that part there. You understand? Every night. Oh, yeah, I'll read it again because an emotional Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, has stated that he goes to bed every night with the country's spiraling murder rate and questions about his efforts to stem it, weighing on his conscience. Speaking on Wednesday at the annual Heal the Family, Heal the Nation's National Day of Prayer in Portmore, St. Catherine. Prayer. Mr. Holness said he had read about the murder of two brothers in Westmoreland on Tuesday and that he had heard the appeal of the men's sister. As a matter of fact, I think 5 men have been arrested in connection with that incident since. You know what I'm saying? I am so sorry about it. And the sister saying, Prime Minister, I just want to talk to you about it. It's an appeal to hear what our leaders are. It is an appeal to hear what our leaders are doing now. So there are typographical errors in this as per usual. Doing about this. She's not quarreling. She's not blaming. She did not even sound angry. Obviously, she was distraught. But she says, Prime Minister, just come talk to me about it. Help me to make sense of it. I don't think it's that she did say to Mr. Prime Minister. I don't think it's how you put it, it got still. But, alright, my boss, do your thing. When them kill my brother, why you kill the 10-year-old? Why? I go to my bed with these things on my conscience every night. The Prime Minister lamented the end of the state of emergency in Westmoreland and Central Kingston, where 10-year-old Jesaria Tyrrell was killed. Of course, I'm going to throw in the SOE thing. Yeah, I mean, why not? See, Mr. Holness said he had tried his best to combat crime, but his efforts have been met with opposition. I mean, supposedly the opposition, People's National Party, and a general lack of support. I have to wonder, are they in support of the criminals in the country? That is a very low blow, though, Mr. Prime Minister. But alright, the 10-year-old did not have to die, man. The 10-year-old did not have to die, man. We had the SOE down there. We put it in Westmoreland. The two brothers never had to die. But Mr. Holness, I'm going to counter that quick and fast. Whilst the SOEs have been able to prevent some murders, the truth of the matter is that in many areas where SOEs have been implemented, murders have taken place. And murders that have only taken place, but taken place very close to police security checkpoints. So Mr. Holness parading the SOEs as the savior of Jamaica is disingenuous at best. You understand? I mean, I really appreciate it. We don't know how other people feel about it, but this is saying that if SOEs were no murder, we know, we have covered many stories where men, women, children have died in communities where states of emergencies have been active. where security personnel have been present. And we not blame nothing upon the security because them can't cover every inch and every square inch of every area where SOEs are. We are just saying that murders have taken place within the state of emergency boundaries and borders many a times. So to suggest, Mr. Prime Minister, that if the SOE was in Westmoreland and Central Kingston, nobody would not dead is disingenuous at best. And whilst I'm sure that these measures would have probably dissuaded a few things, they're not the answer for the fullness of the thing. Whilst there are tools, they're not. Because if the SOEs were so effective, then we shouldn't have over 1,000 murders in all the time, the years when SOEs have been blanketing most of the police divisions, same way. So don't do that, Mr. Prime Minister. Said that, look, the SOEs, while they are not the answer to the problem, they are an important tool in combating the situation and probably adding some stability and stabilization in some areas while we work on other things. Now come tell me, say, if them did it, nobody owned it because people have been dying in SOEs from their start. You understand? So don't do that, Mr. Prime Minister. That's weak, really and truly. But let's move. Politics and politicians, brother. Strange things. Businessman John Levy and wife appear in court on fraud charges. Prominent businessman John Levy. You know why? Businessman John Levy. I feel like me I talk loud. That's why I throat up. And a throat thing, and then I could that's where it come from. So then that not safe neither. Me not like it. We're good still. We're good. But me not like it. Businessman John Levy and his wife, Donna, were on Thursday ordered to return to court. Well, to the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on March 21st this year in connection with their fraud case. The couple appeared in court for the first mentioned date of the case. The court was told that steps are being taken to complete the case file. Always. I mean, I know that the detectives them overworked and they need more. But me I say, Rona, is that you? No. No, because as the water kind of cold, like, in the AC, as, you know what I mean, cold water, your throat not really work out. Ask the artist, them, nobody with the foolishness about it. But Rona, then the Rona business, sir. No. All right, so now, so the case file not ready yet. Because, you know one thing about the case file around them party, they take long like. Bail for the two accused was extended until their next court date. So last month, investigators from the fraud squad at the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Investigations branch CTOC laid criminal charges against the husband and wife. John Levy was charged with forgery, fraud as a director, conspiracy to defraud, simple larceny, and creating public mischief. Donna Levy was charged with conspiracy to defraud and receiving stolen property. The court was told by the clerk on Thursday that the charges are in connection with an Isuzu truck, which is valued at $2 million. The vehicle was allegedly illegally transferred from one company to another. The Levies are represented by attorney Christopher Townsend, and Townsend has told the media that his clients have denied the allegations. Kerry, don't do it. Cops up, well, not cops, two cops among 4 held trying to rob bar and breaching the army. Them police, some of them police, you see, boy, I don't even know. 2, you know, no one, you know. 2. Oh, 2, look. Yeah, 2. Ah, this is 2. 4 men have been arrested and charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, breach of the Disaster Risk Management Act, attempted shop breaking, and conspiracy to shop breaking. Following an conspiracy to shop breaking. Like them a police are clearly see. Conspiracy to shop breaking. Then why they are prison for bread? You know, say them all up on a conspiracy. What kind of conspiracy? You know, we did that. Try rob one local shop like bar. Boy. Attempted shop breaking and conspiracy to shop breaking following an incident on Windward Road, Kingston on Wednesday, December 29. Charged are Dinard Meikle, 35-year-old police constable of Banbury District, Clarendon; Christoph Campbell, 27-year-old constable of Fernando Road, Bridgeport in St. Catherine; Odari Fraser, 22-year-old vendor of Orange Street in Kingston; and Roshan Alvaranga, 20-year-old vendor of Orange Street in Kingston. So 2 police and 2 little youth. One of the youth are 22 and one are 20. And the police are a big man, 27 and 35. Workless. Report from the Liston Road police says that Meikle, Campbell, Fraser, and Alvaranga conspired with one other man known as Finger. Finger sound finger fearing line. Known as Finger and Elder. Elder Finger. Finger Elder. To rob a bar. They went to the location where Meikle and Campbell stood guard. Them there 2 police. While Fraser and Alvaranga watched as Elder, which is Finger, I don't know if Finger sound finger fearing, you know, proceeded to cut the main padlock on the grill of a bar. Their plans were, however, thwarted by a team of police officers. Finger made his escape in a Nissan AD wagon that was parked nearby. Finger take away himself. Meikle and Campbell were held aboard a Toyota Wish motor car, and when searched, Campbell was found with a Taurus pistol with a magazine containing 10 9mm rounds, while Meikle was found with a Glock 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 19 rounds. 2 additional cartridges containing 2 additional magazines containing 35 rounds were discovered to be his licensed firearm. Their court dates are being determined. Bar, the man, bar in a bar. One local man run and win one road having bar, and the man them decide, say, 4 of them I got. Boy, I tell you, rough. Policeman are rough. Big old policeman there. Yes, sir? There's so much liquor and money at a bar that you can split between 4 man like, and everyone happy. Indicom probes shooting at a compound. The compound issue is very, very much divisive. And some people are adamant that a compound is a state within a state. They're a sovereign state. They have full autonomy over their existence, while others are saying, no way, not no go so. You can't have a sovereign state within a state. You understand what I say? And the laws that govern Jamaica also governs the Maroon settlement of a compound and Charlestown and the rest of them. You see, Scots all and them place. The Maroon people are saying that they have rights through the treaty that was signed with the British in 17 or 34, 38, 17 something, I remember. I don't remember. But what that treated it. See? And some people are saying that that treaty is outdated, and I have said before that whatever you think about it, whichever side you are on, there has to be dialogue between the leadership of the Maroon communities and the government of Jamaica. And no matter how you feel about it, there has to be some form of consensus arrived at as to how, as a country, proceed. How do we go forward? Many people, when they talk about these things, they become very emotional and emotive in their speaking. See? Now, man, I'm an mother apart. I don't know what I'm up to. Like, he probably want to come in the studio, but that man coming in the studio, stream good as mash up. Well, not so much. Kind of really so touches against you. But, him's alright. Him good. So, I don't know, man. This thing is getting from bad to worse. And I am afraid before long, there will be situations that we'll look at and say, look, if there was a clearing of the air, some consensus on the way forward was arrived at, then we wouldn't be here. See? Brother, a reserve and an autonomous state are two different something. You understand what I say? A sovereign state are two different something. You see me? So, I don't know if the comparison they really apt right now. You understand? The fact of the matter is that whether them have this in America or that in America, Jamaica is one country. One single country. One. No other country in Jamaica. One country. So, and whilst me know that I go upset some people, that is fine. I am okay with that. As far as I know, there's only one country of Jamaica. There's not Jamaica in another country. There's Jamaica. That is what I know. Zane, Auntie. So, the roads in a compound and in all Maroon villages are paid for by tax-paying Jamaican citizens. The schools in a compound are serviced by the Ministry of Education. Zane? So, me no understand how we assess certain things when the facts are there to say that, look, Jamaica one country. As to whatever rights or autonomy the Maroons have, then that's a next discussion for our next time. But a compound is not a state unto itself. It's a part of Jamaica. And as far as I know, the laws of Jamaica extend to a compound. So, irrespective of how we feel about it, how we think about it, the facts cannot be anything other than facts. Now, the situation, as I said, has to be treated with, and there has to be a situation where the Maroon interest is heard, is treated with, and some consensus on the way forward is arrived at. Whatever the consensus is, it cannot continue as it exists. Bad things are going to happen. So while it is well and good for us to sit down and gaslight some people, bad things are going to happen. All right. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, is now investigating the circumstances surrounding a shooting incident in a compound St. Elizabeth on Thursday night after it was revealed that a police officer was involved in the incident. The policeman is reportedly a member of the Maroon community. As far as the information exists, he lives there. And them come from. 6 people, because some people I get upset when I say person. I don't know, me write the article. You understand? So 6 people were shot at the annual Maroon Festival. One of the victims has since succumbed to injuries. 2 children were also injured in the incident. I did a video about it. I was up until almost 5 o'clock this morning because Mr. Williams decided that he never ready for go feedback. So I was up. So the information started circulating about like after 10 thereabouts. So I was watching it and I said, all right. By the time I wake up in the morning, not knowing something that I got my bed till the morning. But then now, after I go sleep, I set my phone for alarm a particular time so I can wake up and see what I go and say. So I didn't even really get no sleep. So I wake up and I see some more things to it. I'm saying, all right, I'm going to do a one video still. See it? And things. So it's from last night, the information been a circulate still. So, you know what I mean? So I could continue. The victim has been identified as Lloyd Davis of Beth Salem in St. Elizabeth. Commanding officer for St. Elizabeth, Superintendent Dwight Daly, stated that while a team was at the hospital with the injured victims, they received news that a policeman was at the Santa Cruz police station making a report, as I said in the video. The officer reportedly was suffering from injuries to his face. Apparently, he was hitting his face with bottles or with a bottle and some money for something. You understand? Preliminary investigations carried out revealed that the policeman is a member of the Maroon community. His service pistol was seized. I think he's attached to the narcotics division. And he was taken to hospital where he received treatment. Now, the shooting follows Wednesday's warning by the police that people should not attend the annual event as it is in breach of the disaster risk management. Yeah. The chief said that the thing was going to go on just the same. And as it is traditional and, you know what I mean, ritualistic and them something. So it went on and in the night, I mean, I suppose the event was a continuation of the festivities. Apparently, the policeman who is from the community, there was an altercation with between two other men, and he intervened. Apparently, in an attempt, and this is what the news is saying, this is the report thus far. He intervened in trying to quell the situation. He was met with resistance and was struck in the face with a bottle. Apparently, afterwards, more people started to advance towards him, and one whole heap of something. The long and short of the story is that he opened fire. 6 people were hit, including 2 children. You know, many people are saying it is suspicious and it is all sort of things. I am going to take this at face value. Then you will have your reasons for taking it. Otherwise, I will take it at face value and I await the outcome of INDICOM's investigation. Yeah. That said, there must be a coming together of the government of Jamaica. Yes, Neat, I think so. It was not during the day, no. The incident happened sometime after 9 last night. So apparently it was a continuation of the festivities around the celebration. Allegedly. So there must be some clear direction, some decisive action as it relates to the way forward for Maroon communities within Jamaica. As me say, we can talk all we want and we can gaslight the government and we can gaslight the Maroons. It is not healthy. You understand? It is not healthy. And more things are going to happen. Yeah? So, I don't know. And this is not the first time I am saying these exact words, that there has to be a coming together of the relevant agencies and authorities and the Maroon leadership. And not only in a company, all Maroon communities, to once and for all sort out these things. There's a lot of gray areas. Many people think that many things are in black and white. They are not. There are many gray areas, and because we are emotional and we are very emotive and we think this and we think that about the system, we get emotional. It has to be sorted out. It must be sorted out. Else, bad things are going to happen. Stream 339. Not so long ago, we have had the same conversation when a man claiming that he was beaten and stabbed up and must be gun butted because he was opposed to some things down there. We have been hearing many things. It needs to be sorted. I am not in defense of the government. I am not in defense of the Maroons. I am asking for the different stakeholders to sit down in a meaningful way to work this thing out. The police said that the event should not be held. Separate and apart from the incident in the night. Yeah? The chief proceeded to do so. It needs to be sorted. So forget about your emotions and forget about what you think you know. It has to sort out. All right. Second time we have a conversation, you know. At the second time we have that conversation here. It needs to be sorted. That's that. St. James businessman fatally shoots son he mistook for intruder. The St. James Police Division is investigating the circumstances which led to the shooting death of a man in Wright Park early on Friday morning. Based on information gathered by reporters, the dead man, Akeem Taylor, was shot and killed by his father in what lawmen described as an unfortunate situation. It is alleged that at approximately 5:40 a.m., Taylor's father, a popular St. James businessman, upon seeing a shadow on the roof of his house, opened fire and injured the man. After further investigations, it was revealed that the victim, Taylor, was the adult son of the businessman. The police were called to the scene and Taylor was transported to the Cornwall Hospital in the parish where he later succumbed to his injuries. The Barrytown police are investigating. Wow. Wow. As I made mention of that, the situation where the businessman killed his son in St. Andrew last year, I think he's still in custody and attempts of bail has been rejected on a few occasions. I'm almost certain also that I saw. I don't remember. I don't want to tell a lie. I don't want to tell a lie. Let me leave it. Yeah, 9. Same one, Kerry. Same one. That was captured on CCTV. That story up, boy, is a shadow, you know. Yeah, man, in Papinix, right. It's a shadow, brother. We don't know. Why was he on the roof? Maybe him normally cool out early morning on the roof. I don't know, brother. It's a good question and a father Peter. I couldn't tell. Never just a shadow after that. Joe guy. But I mean for laughing about Jaja. Jaja. Can you imagine being responsible for killing your own child? Whether intentionally or not? That can't rest well with no sane, well thinking person, brother. Zane? I have known of cases where, well, a particular story, it was some robbery situation where a man accidentally shot his daughter somewhere uptown. It's drop him drop. Like some robbery attempt and him run for him gun and he fell and the gun went off and his daughter was hit and she died. And I mean, you see that gun thing, yeah? It's not a fun thing, yeah. Sir. Gun a destruction, you know, brother. There's no good that has come out of guns. And nobody come tell me say, yeah, man, defend yourself. Then if no man near no gun, no man don't need to defend himself from no gun. 5 a.m. on the roof. But private figure sometimes 5 a.m. me up on a workout or me go and jog or there something, you know, brother. So me no know. Sometimes some man just wake up, you know, you just want one nice good vibration, you got some little morning dew and some little fresh air and them something there. Joe guy and I gun me a blame, brother. And who make it? Right, so. Gun never did for make it in the first place. Don't want that live long before gun. Yeah, you also have sword and knife and them sitting there, but then the gun is a problem. You see me? Yeah, man, but we understand that, Decimo, we get that. But say, brother, you can't do the maths and tell me, say, the gun is not more problematic than the knife. You see? Mm. Gun a foolishness, sir. That me think. Yeah. But it rough still. If I really saw a story go, it rough. You understand? Now we reach to the obituary part, I think. It's two men killed in Kingston. The police are probing the fatal shooting of two men in Central Kingston last night. Central Kingston again, you know. Central Kingston had a curfew, you know. You understand? One of the I think so. I think it was extended. One of the deceased has been identified as 39-year-old Carl Jones, a security guard of Wellington Street, Kingston 14. The body of the unidentified man is of dark complexion, slim build, and about 6 feet long. The shooting happened about 9 p.m. at the intersection of North and King Streets. Now, residents reported hearing explosions and called the police. Upon their arrival, the men were found suffering from gunshot wounds. They were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. Somebody check for me. Is there still a curfew in Central Kingston? Because I know it was instituted there, declared there, and it was extended. Can somebody quick and fast check for me and tell me if there's a curfew still in place in Central Kingston? Another man killed in Otria, St. Anne. The resort town of Otria in St. Anne has been rocked by another murder after a man was gunned down in the community of Mansfield Heights on Thursday night. Dead is 43-year-old Troy Stewart. It is alleged that Stewart was engaged in a game sometime after 8 p.m. in Mansfield Heights in Otria when he was pounced upon by an armed man who shot him several times. Stewart reportedly died at the scene, while the gunman escaped in a waiting motor vehicle. There were no reports of further injuries stemming from the gun attack, so like I am then go for alone. Stewart's killing came 2 days after the shooting death of 51-year-old Patrick Smalling, otherwise called Banner, in the Orchard Transport Center. Now, according to police reports, Smalling was sitting at the entrance of his shop about 5:50 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon when an armed man walked up to him and shot him. He was pronounced dead at the St. Ansby Hospital. One of them two murders are related. Man allegedly beheads farmer and kills himself. Residents in a section of Brighton, St. Elizabeth, known as Zor, are calling on the government to establish a unit in the Jamaica Constabulary Force to deal with mental health patients, and to train cops in how to interface with them, especially those who are considered dangerous. The call comes following an incident in the area on Monday night that led to the death of two pumpkin farmers in the community. Garnet Gray, 57 years old, is alleged to have been killed by 55-year-old Leonard Morgan, otherwise called Ricky, who was known to have suffered from mental issues. Morgan is suspected, then it is suspected, then took his own life by setting himself afire inside his home. When reporters visited the community yesterday, several residents, including Kevin Galloway, a brother of the accused, had gathered outside Morgan's burnt-out house. Reports are that shortly after 8 p.m. on Monday, Gray was standing along the roadway close to his home when he was approached by Morgan, who used a machete to sever one of Gray's hands and his head. Morgan reportedly fled the scene, and several hours later, family members discovered his burning house and summoned the fire brigade. After the firemen extinguished the blaze, Morgan's charred remains were discovered inside the house. Desmond Brown, a farmer, said the incident could have been avoided if the police were more equipped to deal with mentally ill persons. It could avoid. This man was actually an insane person. I can tell you that for sure, Brown said. The man there all over the place threatening his neighbor. He mad for killing neighbors. And we call the police for assistance to get him to a medical place. We call the police them and the man resists and them leave him. Brown said Morgan and Gray live like brothers, disclosing that Morgan would supply higglers in the Charles Garden market in Montego Bay with pumpkin. If we did get the police assistance from the time when we called, what happened here wouldn't have happened, Brown insisted, calling on the government to train cops to deal with mentally ill persons. There is so much more why do I don't even know about that now, you know? May I tell you the truth what God love? Sure, there should be people trained to deal with the mentally ill, but to add that burden and overwork police officers, I'm not sure about that. May I tell you the truth what God love? Yes, I love truth. Yeah, sir. I don't know about it. I don't know if I agree with that. Whilst there should be a unit where people are specially trained to treat with the mentally ill, I don't know that it should be the police's responsibility. What the police are going to do now is accompany them people there to offer support. But it shouldn't be the police who would do. No. I don't agree with that. No, I go upon it. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that apartheid. So whilst the police would assist and offer, support, there should be people who are trained as such to treat with these people, not the police. What the hell the police can do? As Loving Dear said. And I really Loving Dear did sister still. I echo mine at sister then. I echo mine at do a tune first. And then Loving Dear say where police can do. Something like that. I don't agree with that. I am really sorry to hear what happened, but the Ministry of Health should have a unit where people are trained to treat with these people and the police offers assistance. It can't be a police thing. I don't agree with that. Let me put that out there from now. It might sound harsh, but it's truth. Man on bail killed in Linstead. A man was shot and killed in Linstead, St. Catherine, a day after he was released on bail. Wow. Sometimes jail is the best place man them to when they think about it. A man who was shot and killed in Linstead, St. Catherine, I said that already. He has been identified as 27-year-old Denton Hamilton, otherwise called One Left. Him sound like he was a baller. Normally, a man them where use a left foot and then can only use a left foot, you call him One Left, like. So he look like him play ball. He is from Linstead. Hamilton was granted bail in the sum of $100,000 with surety by the St. Catherine Parish Court on Wednesday. He was before the court in relation to a robbery of a motor car. It is reported that about 1:30 on the day in question, afternoon that is, Hamilton was inside a barber shop along Grove Road in Linstead when he was attacked by a gunman. He was shot multiple times in the upper body. The police have since launched a manhunt for his attackers. Now, Hamilton's death brings to fore the number of murders in the St. Catherine North Police Division since the start of the year. Boy. On Wednesday night, I read an article where it stated that a surcharge has been placed against acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Grace McLean, who was on leave, paid leave, and former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dean Roy Bernard, in a sum of $124 million. That was information was shared by the Minister of Education, Favour Williams, and Deputy Education Minister and Minister of Information, Robert Nesta Morgan. However, Dean Roy Bernard, along with the Ministry of Finance, has said no such thing. So, I don't know what really going on at dance. Like, Finance Ministry shoots down statements about Grace McLean. But then I have one next article where the finance, well, I don't know, I'm confused. I said them confuse you and I said them try to trick me, then confuse you and trick me. Me not confused, you know. Me not bother confused. Me not confused. Me not bother confused. You know not confuse me. You know not going to confuse me. And that you know, don't confuse people, and by the time we done come out of confusion with everything sort out. Well, me not confused. I don't go with no confusion business like. The Ministry of Finance and Public Service has shut down statements from Education, Youth and Information Minister Favour Williams and their Deputy Robert Morgan that the Finance Ministry has taken surcharge action against Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Grace McLean. The Finance Ministry also rejected assertions from Williams that similar action has been taken against Permanent Secretary Dean Roy Bernard, who is embroiled in a court battle with the government over his desire to be officially reinstated to the position within the Education Ministry. Williams made a statement at a post-cabinet press briefing on Wednesday, and the Dr. Nigel Clark-led Finance Ministry issued a rebuttal statement on the matter later in the day. With reference to the media reports today regarding the issue of surcharges, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service hereby advise that this is currently in the process of gathering and reviewing information to inform evaluation of the recommendation made by the Auditor General for a surcharge of Mr. Dean Roy Bernard and Mrs. Grace McLean, the statement said. That was such a long-winded statement. You know, say, I sit in the right here. The Finance Minister, then when I be a big word in using them, it's a big word like them and they use one word for one sentence. I saw them and they use word. I read the one statement I'm entirely long, so sentence line. Alright. All this time, no surcharge has been issued, it added. A surcharge is a fine levied against civil servants who have been found to be derelict in their duties and as such have caused the government financial losses. Last year, Auditor General, the very, very nice Pamela Monroe Ellis, we don't know Ellis part, we don't know about that part, Lady Pamela Monroe, recommended the institution of surcharge action against the two senior officers of the Education Ministry by the Finance Ministry on the basis that both failed to ensure that government funds were appropriated in keeping with the requisite law and established guidelines, among other things. And one long story, we rest of long. Then we are going what? Carrie is way out of your face. As I do know. True me say Pamela nice. She's nice. She's a very nice lady. You understand? A nice Nubian queen, African empress like. You understand? Smart, beautiful lady like. Then this is what you want from me. Big up yourself, Empress Pamela Maroon. I don't know about Ellis. Mm. So let me show you, I'm confused now. She named Pamela Maroon. She born married. She born married. Leave the lady. She named Pamela Maroon. That may make you know. Mm. Finance Ministry sources say the ministry had written to McLean and Bernard as it considered multi-million-dollar surcharge imposition. Then me tell us the much I confuse you. But me not going to confuse. Not today, Satan. Finance Ministry sources have revealed that from as early as December 10 last year, Financial Secretary Darlene Morrison had said a letter is to be urgently delivered to former Acting Permanent Secretary Grace McLean as the Finance Ministry considered the imposition of a $11.2 million surcharge. In the letter, Financial Secretary Morrison said Dr. McLean had 30 days to provide a response to correspondence concerning the surcharge which was being considered. The letter was sent by Morrison to Acting Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, Maureen Dyer. She act now because they did send Grace on leave, paid leave. You understand? The Financial Secretary also disclosed that her ministry is considering the imposition of a surcharge of $112 million against another former Education Ministry Permanent Secretary, Dean Roy Bernard. In the December 10, 2021 letter, the Financial Secretary requested feedback from the Education Ministry on the move to consider imposing the multi-million-dollar surcharge on both McLean and Bernard. Man, and the rest of them. I just show you what that's what I'm trying to confuse with. I'm not going to be confused. So whilst the surcharge may not have been imposed just yet, there has been initiations and moves to get it going. You understand? So let me see what go on. But that said, remember me just telling me say Lady Grace McLean, who was sent on leave, yeah, is back. Guess who's back? Back again. Grace is back. Set the trend. Jam down. Man, move from here, man. That way you come over here, brother. I not even know them people where you talk about. Man, go on, man. I don't know who invited the boy, you say. Alright, you are going, alright, you know. So I didn't hurt nobody feeling so early in a year, you know. But, yeah, oh, somebody hide him. Okay, then who hide him? Alright. Man say we fear. Ah. Alright, watch out now. So we tell us that Grace is back. Back again. Yeah, sir? Embattled former Acting Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Grace McLean, is to return to the ministry on January 20, but in her substantive position as Chief Education Officer. Remember, so Grace was Chief Education Officer during Royal Reid time. And then Dean Roy Bernard was Permanent Secretary. However, Ruel sent Dean Roy Bernard over the finance ministry as director general, one position where even exists, and promoted Grace McLean to permanent secretary. Well, acting permanent secretary. Dean Roy Bernard can't then go a court saying one back in permanent secretary job. Zane, where Grace McLean are acting. Now, Grace was sent on leave the other day, and when she returns on January 20, she will not be returning as acting permanent secretary, but as chief education officer. Yo, the Ministry of Education is the biggest bakery, is the biggest oven in a patty shop. You know, see? The Education Ministry is the biggest oven in a patty shop. You understand? Joke thing. The ministry that should be spearheading the transformation of Jamaica is, it's not a promotion, Kerry. It's not a promotion, you know. Remember, so the highest office in the ministry, apart from the minister, is permanent secretary, you know. So it's basically a demotion again. Because she was acting permanent secretary after she was promoted from being chief education officer. So it's not a promotion. Really. They must send her back what she did there in the beginning for a role upgrade her. You see? But why? So Dr. Cassan Troop has been acting as chief education officer. Maureen Dyer has been acting as permanent secretary. So will Maureen Dyer continue acting as permanent secretary, or will Dean Roy Bernard be placed back in his permanent? Yo. I tell you. The three most important sectors in any country, you see? Health, education, and security. Any great country is built on a very dynamic and diverse education sector, a strong and robust healthcare sector, and a very proactive and modern security force. None of them that we just say related to Jamaica. Where education sector is in shambles. First thing, it is highly flawed in the first place. But it's our next discussion for another time. As far as I can see, from all the ministries where money has been misappropriated and fleeced and siphoned off, the education ministry seems to be the lead now. Zane, the sector that should be preparing children to become productive member of the society, you know, is being raped, you know. Mercilessly, you know, gang raped, you know. Battery, you know. Yeah. And it's from one crop to the next crop. You see it? So now that me I try to show you the carry then. And what grow? Boy, I don't even know. Boy. So when we finish read this. So she is to return to the ministry on January 20, but in her substantive position as Chief Education Officer. This is after a surcharge had reportedly been instituted against her and former permanent secretary in the Education Ministry, Dean Roy Bernard, following revelation that the ministry was unable to account for $124 million of taxpayers' money. McLean was sent on paid vacation leave, as always. Send them on leave, man. But we're paying them same. It's a vacation. Paid vacation leave following the revelation to facilitate the investigation. A source at the ministry said McLean's return means that Dr. Casson Troop, who is acting Chief Education Officer since September 2019, will revert to her position as Director of Regional Education Services for Region 1. The current acting Permanent Secretary, Maroon, via a memo informed Human Resources Department on the Ministry of Change and instructed the department to make the necessary arrangement to accommodate the personnel move. Jamaica is the only country where certain things are rewarded, where incompetence, where mismanagement, where shadiness is rewarded. Send them on leave, man. Send them on paid vacation leave while we investigate. People are rich and happy already, But when police depend interdiction, them have to sit down in the yard without money until the case is terminated and they're winning. Or they are acquitted. Yeah? But all big wigs, send them on vacation, paid vacation leave. 2 years, special leave. The education sector. An education sector that should be pulling everything out of the hat to try and combat the learning loss that will beat us as a country for decades to come as a result of the fallout from the COVID pandemic. An education ministry that is more focused on treating with special leave for 2 years for some man and vacation leave for some woman that has been found or believed to be involved in questionable circumstances and situations in regards to taxpayers' money. Reward them. Damien, whilst me here, and Dante, me here too, let's not pretend that this is a one administration situation. If the foundation had been set, laid right from the beginning of time, these things would not be problem, because whichever administration would be in government, there would have been mechanisms in place to ensure that anytime you slip, you slide. So it happened under PNP administrations and JLP administrations. We need to get it sorted out, no matter who the administration is. That is it, It needs to be sorted out. It needs to be standardized, as Burbantan say, right across the board. So irrespective of which party is in power, the systems and the checks and balances are in place to regulate these things. So no matter who the guy, from him slip, him slide. So whilst the buck stops at the Prime Minister foot, no, the buck stops at every Prime Minister and politician foot that are served in this country. Because if things were done right from the beginning, or even if not beginning, you see the things are wrong, and over time, look here, 1962 we get independence, you know what you say? And over time, you right the wrongs in a systemic and gradual way. So it shouldn't come down to who a prime minister. There should be checks and balances in every government agencies, institutions to treat with these things. It's a simple thing, It is a simple thing. So no matter whether orange government or green government, the system is in place to treat with these things. No matter who you be or what color you be, move out of the way. That is just my humble observation and view upon the situation. You understand? This country has been ravaged by our politicians, orange and green, the whole of them they're on the same destruction team. Hmm? Because it's not like we hear say, okay, this administration is in power and they were scot-free and no irregularities were uncovered and no misappropriation of tax money was ever brought up and no reports of nepotism and cronyism and ism and schism. And then one next administration come in and it's like them the same thing, no better poor, no better barrel family. Everybody's everybody is the bastion of hope when they are in opposition. We see the light, we see the problems. We have the solutions. We will fix this. And then when they get the reins of power, where the light and the solution and we will fix this attitude there, where the energy there. The same thing and even worse sometimes. And we keep doing this is a cycle over and over. Local government election soon call one of them time, one of them part. Zin, and look how much dog you going to dress up in an orange shirt and green shirt, and how much bell and pot cover, and people are wine pan chop back, and people and yam curry goat out a foam plate and a drink rum, and boom out a plastic cup. Not change. Not change at Jamaica, yes, it's same one. Mm. Yeah. We just want a plate of curry goat and a flask of rum. That's all we want, you know. One plate of curry goat and a flask of rum and some music. You play some music, everybody skin out and dash out and nothing no matter again. And one next 3 to 5 years, we're still in the same conundrum and it get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. We don't want nothing, you know. Jamaican, we don't want nothing. We just want some curry goat and a drink of rum. And we're good. And look at music for have some fun. Ring some bell and lick some pot cover. I there sitting there. I think I saw them go. And we're good. We don't feel a fool. And because we don't feel a fool, the politician them treat treat we like a fool. Because then me there too. You understand? But you me and them and a friend like that. Watch what go on when local election come. All of them people who hear cause the prime minister now, watch what go on when election time come. Yeah? All of them people who hear cause Mark Golding now, who say them watch what go on when election come. Back time PP clock. Same way. Nothing change. So how do we do the same things repeatedly over and over and expect the country to move forward, brother? No. It's rough. And if you believe, say, the Jamaica Labour Party have the answers, or the People's National Party have the answer, you're dead wrong. Jamaicans, the whole of it together. Zin, and that's where the answer lies. You understand? That is where the answer lies, you know. And when we have got all the political representatives accountable and stop because, you're a party, man, you're one party, man. You ever keep a party about it? What do you mean you're a party or my party? We don't have a party about it. We don't even keep birthday party. You're a party when you're a party in a power. Low my party. That you're an idiot. Conquer and divide, man. Conquer and rule. You understand? Divide and conquer. That me there try a long time. Yeah. Because them know so when we united, them have to go move out. So them can't make we unite. Them have to make we continue fight. You understand? And then a man come and roll up $500 in a man, pushing a man pocket or squeezing a man, and him good. I'm a god that. A $500 by God round, I say. By God, so I'm a God. Who? And he make me eat, you know? 5 bills, you know? $5 can barely buy 2 bull and 2 back juice out here, you know? But I'm a God that, you know. Eh? How long the $5 are going to feed you? Or the 2 grand? Feed 2 grand for I said. But I'm a God that. You can't disregard. You mad? Well, we are fool about there, no? I don't say we are fool. You are fool and me, you all we are fool. You all we are fool. That me I tell you no. None of we not smart and none of you all we are fool. That me I make you know too. So no go on like you know smart and teach. You all we are fool. Me, you and you all we. The way you sit down and take your foolishness. That we not fool. Eh? Some of we are old fool, some are young fool, some are new fool, but all are we fool. That me I tell you now. One bag of fool are going to 2022. Don't even see. Oh God. Yeah. I don't know. I finish that see there. Quada's murder case for May 2023. Yo, boy, I don't even know about that case. I can't say watch out. Quada got court more than 23 times already. And then keep on and put off the case. That is sure. Them say justice delayed is justice denied, you know, you see? Me frustrated, you know me. And I mean, I say the man innocent and guilty, and I talk about the process now and the system in place. Quada is to reappear before the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston on May 22nd, 2023. Not even 2023, and I mean even pronounce 2023 to answer to the charge of murder. Yeah? Bianca Samuels, attorney at law who represented the DJ on his last court appearance in October 2021, said the charge of arson was dismissed. I made an application on behalf of Mr. Clark to the effect that the prosecution did not present a prima facie case against him for the offense of arson. The court agreed, and so he was only committed for the offense of murder. Mr. Clark was committed to appear in the Supreme Court for the offense of murder only, Samuels continued. Quada's given name, Shaquille Clark, he was arrested and charged for murder and arson on January 15, 2021. Yeah? He was granted bail in the sum of $500,000 on January 17. He is charged with the murder of Miguel Williams, 30 years old, of Sterling Castle Heights in St. Andrew. The incident reportedly occurred on April 17, 2019. Let me tell you something, I'm fool. According to the police, 2023. Yes, that. According to police reports, an angry mob forced its way into Williams' house, beat him, placed tires around his body, and lit him inside the building. He was burnt beyond recognition. I hear that an angry mob. Yet still a one man face the court. Angry mob. Williams' murder is believed to be in relation to the murder of 80-year-old Shante Skyes, a student of Red Hills Primary School. Now, Skyes had gone missing in April of 2019, days after her body was found in Sterling Castle Heights. The DJ is one of 4 persons charged in connection with Williams' killing. So it was a mob thing, but 4 people were arrested. The 3 other persons charged also had the arson charge dismissed. They were given the same May 22nd, next day to appear in court. You understand? So, rough. 4 of them did arrest in a sizzler, but I guess you see when you have name and look for fame, easier for your name calling and you people know, you know. You understand? People don't call it no name, man. You understand? Mm. That's how you think go. So 2023 before man go back a one whole year from now. Year and a half. You understand? Why? Like why the case need for take so long for go court, go through the court system? Like me not get that. You understand? So we watch and see. So this is not me pronouncing guilt or innocence. This is just me saying, look here, it is tardy for this thing to take so long to go through the court system. He was arrested and charged in 2020, January of when? In January of 2021. January last year, no? So over almost 1 year now since he was arrested and charged. And then I've got to wait one next full year before, and they would have gone to court on numerous occasions. And the matter not call up or put off or one whole person. We don't know. So some more things go on in yard, you know. Some more gun fines, teacher, me have the news and I spoke about that on Wednesday, Romy. She is to go back to court in October, I think. And she is out on bail. But she's able to travel just the same and pursue her music career. You know, she's in front of the courts for a road accident in which another person died after she collided with, or the vehicles collided and things. So I spoke about it on Wednesday night. So I didn't really plan to talk about it tonight. Boy, DNJ, it's slap, brother. It's slap. You see me? Yeah, man. So, I don't know. As I said, some more other things are going on. We just take out some things where, you know, could have vibe over tonight and keep it on a level. Now I try to get back into my streaming strides and thing. Ain't a go good so far. Yeah, we give thanks. You see? But big up on yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know that. I'm still not sure if I'm going to stream Friday and Sunday nights or just Friday nights. But definitely premiere Tuesday. Zane and Tuesday. I don't even remember, but I'm on a bad interview. Yeah, son. Auntie. But give thanks, peeps, you know, we're there. It thing rough. Be careful, yeah, sir. Whether you're the yard or abroad, it thing hard, it rough. You understand? And it's tough. You see me, we have survived this far. Scotty, there's something about the place, you know, but she's not there right now. So hopefully by next week she'll be in studio and thing. But she the woman, but she alright. She just not, she can't stream right now. You see? Yeah. But she good. What did I say again? Man, Joseph distract me. Yeah, but be careful. Like that, something like that. You understand? If I go and hold it out, it. Oh, yeah, remember what I say now. We have survived thus far. You see me? Some of us have suffered losses in terms of losing loved ones, families, friends throughout the pandemic. And we have to give thanks. You understand? Because we're still vertical, though. Yeah, man. And we're still above ground because it's rough. So if we go on hold strong and go and fight the fight and go and search the light because I think dark said we. You see? But big up on yourself, you know, peeps. You know, we're there, I try to say clean back in the streaming thing. You understand? I kind of need to work out some things with the year going forward, as I say, in terms of my streaming ethics and thing. But I work on it. But we're there. It's always a joy to see the ones, them. You understand? And, you know, we have some things I work on. Or I will enjoy for the year 2020 few and beyond. You know what I mean? You know, we do that something as a marathon. We're not up on a sprinting, so we not run down certain things. We not get excited or carried away. You understand? We just keep it on a level and you know, so we do our thing in a particular way. Whilst we know that if we do certain type of content, we get more views and thing. But I'm okay. I do well enough, more than well enough. You understand? And we give thanks. I want to make the thing work. I want to make the thing possible. You see me? I know that I have a responsibility to my viewers. You know, just come here and come chat in a video. I try to provide facts and accurate information and save my opinion for probably when I stream. That's all right, but you know what I mean. I'm here, Williams. That be nice, right? So big up on yourself. I appreciate the ones them in our real life. Everybody, seeing every subscriber, every viewer, everybody will comment, everybody will like, everybody will share. All the people who, you know what I mean, see you on the road and a straight love and appreciation. Seeing for the people that were, you know what I mean, work in a sun, rain, sleet, snow, hail, dew, fog, mist, all of the elements of precipitation, and them still, you know, find it in themselves to contribute to the thing. We appreciate that because we know say the struggle is real on the work hard. So we appreciate that. For the people them who buy some things over the merch store, somebody comment and say they think them too expensive. I probably need to go look on it again and see. See, it's a really small markup I get in when Teespring do them thing, you understand? Like me no make more than $5, probably $10 the most off of the thing them when them sell. And them make them thing and do them thing and you understand it's just my logo and them something still. So but me gonna look into it. So probably if it means that me just need to make $1 or $2, me need to make the things them cheaper for the viewers them see. So probably that makes sense. So you understand what I say? Big up to the people them who still stick by over Patreon. We love you know. You understand? The PayPal people them, the Western Union people them, the real life people them. You understand? The stream people them, everybody. Happy New Year. Belatedly so for the ones that whenever they are Wednesday. Zane, I sincerely hope that your 2022 will be productive, will be one of growth, one of expansion, and your territories will be enlarged, Zane. And as Major Mackerel said, may your food basket never be empty. You understand? Yeah, man. Give thanks. Peeps, art of love. Zane, I'm not sure about Sunday, but definitely premiere Tuesday. You understand? Make all the vibes and you know what I mean, keep the thing going. You understand? And building. Art of love. Enjoy your weekend. Be good. You understand? You know the thing go. You do the match, add it right. You understand? And stay upful and bright. Walk good. Step with ya. Safe travel upon the graphic. Big up to everybody. I'm out. I can't find the outro, but the out. Me soon I said. One of them time. Big up on yourself. Look more.